What is going on, team? In today's video, I want to talk about some new marketing strategies that I have been discussing with a client of mine, and I want to share with you what the strategies have been, and maybe you can implement them in your business. Hopefully by the end of the video, if you feel like any of these tips have been good, I hope you leave me a comment, hope you give me a thumbs up, and that you subscribe. So before we get started about the marketing strategies, I want to give you a little bit of a background with what this company is, what they do, and how they got started. One of the owners of the company is a good friend of mine, and we have been talking about marketing for some time now. However, recently we got into the conversation about, hey, what can you do as far as marketing for my company? They are here in Tampa. They're a local company, and they have been in business, I want to say, for over 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I believe for at least for over 10 years. A lot of their business comes from advertising and word of mouth. Obviously, those are two great ways to get business. I mean, their business is doing great. However, they wanted to keep growing. They want to expand their business. And we got into the conversation about social media, email marketing, doing Facebook ads, doing Instagram ads. And I want to give you pretty much a background of the conversations that we had. Hopefully, if you like any of the tips, you can implement them in your business. All right, so that's a little bit of how I know about the company. That's a little bit of how I know the owner of the company. Like I said, he's a good friend of mine, and they have been in business for, I want to say, at least over 10 years. A little bit of the things that we discussed when we first met between the two owners of the company and myself was, hey, how is your social media? Obviously, their social media, they don't have much presence on social media. I believe they have like 450 followers. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the exact number last time I looked at it. Pretty much the way the conversation was like, hey guys, we have to start doing social media. We have to start growing your social media profile. We have to start, email marketing. We have to start like the basic things, which I think the marketing company that they were doing that with was doing it, but I'm not sure to like what level. I'm not sure how exactly they were doing it. I'm actually meeting with them today, and I'm gonna go a little bit more into like what the company was actually doing for them, because I'm not too sure. That was my first thing, like, hey, we have to start doing social media. One of the things that we discussed was, hey, what if we started doing social media from the perspective of, we're gonna start giving information out. For example, free tips as far as like how to, because they're a flooring company, one of the tips and information they can give people is like how to keep your vinyl plank flooring clean, or how to keep your wood floors clean, or what is the difference between vinyl planking and wood planking, or whatever it's called. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. If you know about the floor industry, please correct me below. That was the conversation of, hey, this is where I think we should take your business as far as social media presence, because I think people are gonna love that free content, right? Like, people don't like, I don't think a lot of people want to be sold. They just want to see information, and hey, I'm looking for flooring. These guys are always showing up on my feed. They're always giving good information. And I think that's the company for me, because I feel connected to them already, as far as like, I know who they are. I know who one of the owners is, or I know both owners. I know they're flooring experts. I think that's the approach we should take. So that was like what I told them, as far as like, hey, we should take your social media presence this way. So one of the things that we're gonna do, which I think is where I'm gonna take my company, and as far as like what I think marketing is for me and what it looks like for me and my clients, is we're gonna meet once a week. We're gonna shoot content for, let's say for about an hour or two, where we have plenty of content pre-recorded, and my job is going to be to record the content, edit the content, and obviously manage it for them and put it on different platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I'm very excited about that, because I have been looking around. I haven't seen like the big players in like flooring and all that. I haven't seen much of that from them. So I think that's a good strategy, as far as like, hey, we are providing so much content and we're providing so much value for our customers, like that the end return, I think, is going to be, it's going to be a pretty solid return on investment for the future leads. It's going to be a good return on investment for the people that are, just thinking about getting flooring. So that's going to be one of the things that we're going to do as far as social media to increase your presence. We're going to create content, post tips. We're going to be sharing how-tos, like maybe some DIY. I don't know, like we'll see what we're going to do exactly, but that is going to be like the vision that we're going to have for their company, as far as like how to grow their social media presence and how to grow that following. Another thing that we're going to do for their social media is we are going to have a Linktree link, where we're going to have all the links to their other channels, as far as like TikTok. We're going to have for Facebook. One of the other links is going to be for clients to schedule their free call-ins, their free consultation, as far as like get a quote for their home, as to get their flooring done. So that's going to be another link that we're going to put there. Another one that we're going to do is going to be the email newsletter. Everything that we're going to do is for, as far as like email newsletter and content for social media, is going to be provide value. It's going to be to give information. It's going to be for clients who feel like, hey, we're not selling them. We're just giving information in hopes that in return, if you ever want to do upgrade to your flooring, if you ever want to do change your carpet, if you ever want to do planks or whatever, the vinyl, again, correct me on the comments, please, that you think of us as the company who has been providing value and eventually you want to do business with us. So that is going to be the idea behind the content strategies and the email newsletter that we're going to have going on. Another thing that we're going to do with the emails is we're going to have two different buckets. We're going to have one for the past clients, and then we're also going to have one for the leads. And they are going to get different information, a little bit of different information as far as like, we're not going to send, hey, if you refer someone to the new leads because they haven't even started and they haven't even become a client yet, right? So we're going to be sending, for example, if we do a referral program, we're going to be sending those to our past clients, just kind of like let them know like, hey, you were one of our clients, you had a good experience with us. If you recommended someone, then we're going to give you X amount of money. Just because you recommended someone who closed a deal, they're happy. Now you're happy that you recommended someone, please keep them coming. And for every referral, you get X amount of money. And then the leads email is going to be more of, hey, here are some tips. If you're thinking about doing flooring, carpet, please think about us whenever you're ready to go. Those are going to be the different things that we're going to be doing with the newsletter for referrals and for new clients, which I think those two together are going to be pretty a good return on investment, because the email newsletter, it shouldn't be that much time consuming, and it is something that you can have preset and just ready to go whenever you're ready. Another thing that we're going to be implementing is they have showrooms. They have a couple vans that they have like showrooms, which they have different types of carpet, different type of vinyl, different type of wood flooring. They have them inside the vans. So what I told them was, hey, why don't we go and park these vans somewhere where there's a lot of traffic, because people can see it. Now, here's the kicker. Something else that I told them was, if you have a QR code on the side of the van, like a pretty big QR code that people can just scan, and it takes you straight to your company's website, that's going to be good too. That's another way to generate more leads. So now we have two things going on. We're going to park the van in a busy area, and then people can walk by and just scan the QR code. And yes, if you ask me, I think that was pretty clever for me to think about that, because they're going to be parking the vans in a busy area with the QR codes. People can just walk by, they're thinking about floorings, generate more leads. Boom, everybody's happy. You never know. The way I look at marketing is you have to try different things. You can't just stick to what everybody else is doing, and you can't just be, just following the crowd. You have to stand out a little bit and do things different. Like, the way that I look at it is, if we have this van that's already wrapped, it has your company written all over, your phone number, why not put a QR code that's big enough where people can just scan, and why not park it in a busy street? I think that's pretty clever. I think that's pretty smart. And what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. I mean, you're already paying for the van. You already invested all the money in the wrapping. Why not just add a QR code and go park it somewhere that's busy? I'll keep you guys updated in how that works, and hopefully I'll be able to take a video when we actually make it happen, because I think it's going to be pretty cool. And I do think there is opportunity to get a lot of leads from there. Another thing that I recommended to my clients, and this is attaching social media to it, is doing like a mini podcast with people that are not exactly in their industry. For example, we're going to have someone who's a realtor, but they're going to come in, they're going to chit chat for a little bit, talk about his real estate. We're going to talk about flooring. Now the goal is going to be to have the realtors following go to my client's page, and my client's followers go to the realtor's page, which in return is going to be growth for both, hopefully. And that's another way to increase social media presence, because you don't necessarily have to talk about flooring if you're in the flooring industry. I can have a realtor, and that makes sense, because now his people are going to be thinking, oh, I'm thinking about buying a house. I don't really like this house, but if I change the flooring, maybe now I like the house, or maybe now I can see myself in the house because now the flooring is going to be different. Okay, now I'm thinking about, I'm going to call my realtor, I'm going to buy the house, and then I'm going to see if I can get a deal with his friend that has the flooring company. And now the client's happy, the realtor's happy, the flooring company's happy, and the client who originally didn't want to buy the house, but now it is, because they can see themselves buying this house and changing the floor. So do you get where I'm going with this? And I hope that makes sense. But I think cross-posting and cross-exchanging ideas with other people who are not necessarily in your field doesn't directly have to be in the flooring industry, but they are in the housing industry, and they are in the real estate industry, which means they have to, flooring, housing, like all that makes sense. So why not merge those two together? Another idea is maybe a loan officer. Again, same thing. The goal will be to have their followers go to my client's page, and my client's followers go to the loan officer's page. Those are some of the strategies that I share with my client. I gave them those tips, and I'm going to keep you guys posted to see how they went, if they're working, if we're actually doing them, because That's also something that I've noticed and that I thought about recently. If you want your business to grow and you decide to do some type of marketing, you have to be on board. If you're not doing the marketing yourself, you have to be on board with the person that you guys bring in. You have to trust that they're going to do a good job and that they actually want the best for your company as much as you do, which I think in return, it will be silly for a marketer not to want the best for that companies because they're the ones paying you. In my mind, I think it makes sense for business owners letting the marketer, if you trust that they're going to do a good job, letting them give you the ideas. And if you agree with the ideas that they give you, you should be on board. If you're not on board, for example, my clients are on board with doing social media, they're on board with doing the interviews or like the mini podcast, they are on board with getting the QR code for their vans and parking it somewhere. Like, they are on board with the marketing strategies that I'm giving them, and they are on board with the tips that I'm giving them because, one, it makes sense. They can see what I'm saying. I'm articulating in a way like, hey guys, have you tried this? Oh no, I haven't tried it. Okay, so if you haven't tried it, maybe we should give it a try to see what kind of results that we get. And two, I think they can tell that I want the best interest for them, and they can tell like I want to grow their company. Like, the way that I look at marketing and the way that I look at me providing this service is like, now I feel like I'm responsible for growing your business, and I need to do a job. Like, I need to do the best that I can to make sure your business grows. And that's just the mentality that I have. And I think they notice that in the way that I speak to them. They notice that in the way that I give them the tips, because I want to make sure that they understand, like, hey, I want the best interest, even though I'm not making as much as you guys are going to be making. I want my best interest is for you guys to grow, because I don't know, that's just the way that I am. And I know some people might have their ideas about marketers and marketing companies. However, like, if you don't feel comfortable with the marketer or the person that you have, then, maybe you should bring up like, hey, I think, like, we should do things differently. Like, I want to get to know you a little bit better. Like, what have you done in the past? Like, what can you do for me? And as a business owner, you need to spend a little bit more time with the person that you hire to do your marketing before you actually give your money out. And I think at the end of the day, the business owner and the marketer, they have to be aligned in what they want for the company in order for things or different marketing strategies to work. Because if the business owner doesn't agree with what I'm saying, then I'm gonna feel like, okay, I feel like everything that I'm saying you don't think is good. Well, but if you're so good, then why are you calling me? All right, so I hope that you like this video. I wanted just to sit down and share with you some of the strategies that I'm doing. And I think even though I'm doing these strategies for a flooring company, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it. If you have a roofing company, if you have a plumbing company, you have an AC company, a lot of the strategies that I just shared, they're very easy to implement. And I think that it would help a lot of people. All right, so if you like this video, please leave a comment below, give me a thumbs up, and consider subscribing. That is it, team. Have a good one.